set? Cool.
Yeah.
So, I'm Ryan with Hartke, and we're here with James Genus, fantastic bass player, to tell us a little bit about him and his sound.
Hello. How you doing out there?
To say you have an impressive resume is an understatement. Right now, you're on the road with Herbie Hancock.
Right.
What's that like? You know, being on tour with him night after night.
It's amazing because, I mean, I grew up, as we all have, listening to him and being influenced by him and his music and his direction that he's gone in music and what he's done for the music industry, and to be able to play with him and hang out with him and on a daily basis. And then every so often he'll break into stories about playing with Miles or anything like that, or making Rocket, or the first time he discovered a vocoder and how he made that. Yeah, it was amazing stories. So, and he's just a great human being too. Yeah.
That's awesome. And there's actually a pretty diverse cast, it seems like, for everyone that's playing on there. You've got Vinny Colaiuta, you've got Lionel Lucchi and
Lueke.
And Terrence Martin. So what's it like, especially you being a versatile person and such a huge back catalog to pull from, what's it like playing those tunes?
It's great because he doesn't like living in the past. I mean, his past speaks for itself, but he's always going to the next. He's trying to get to the next level. What can I do to push this music into the next level? So we might take Watermelon Man or any of those tunes, Cantaloupe Island, and just kind of revamp them and do different things to it to give him a fresh perspective, and for us to have a fresh perspective on a tune that we've listened to like forever and ever. And I like to see him just as involved in the music as I am or as we are, and because it's almost kind of like I see it as being like kind of having an advantage, because say if you wrote like a pop song, pretty much you have to play the pop song the same way every time,
right?
Because people expect it to be like, they know the melody, they know how it's supposed to be. Oh no, that part goes like this and that part goes like that. But for him, it's like you still have that, but you have the freedom to take it in different, kind of genres or areas or, sounds, colors, and yeah, I like that.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And what's the difference with your preparation for the gigs compared to, say, when you were playing with Randy Brecker, Michelle Camilo, or anyone like that?
Usually when we go out on the road, we probably will, whatever the first city is or wherever we're playing, we go there, and we usually are there for 3 days before we actually do the tour. Mm-hmm. And to refresh memories, to get new ideas or whatever. So almost kind of like a pop gig. This is the first time I've done this on playing, I guess jazz or whatever, where you go before you start the tour, you do like 3 or 4 days of rehearsing. I did that with the Brecker Brothers because that was kind of like in the same vein. But you go there and you get to the city and you rehearse for a couple of days, vibing with the music, figuring out different things you can do. And so each time is kind of different. And and each gig or each show starts developing more and growing more and whatever. So but we definitely have like a couple of days before we go on the road to get it all together, refresh memories, because it's a bunch of old people up there. No, he's the youngest of us all. I think he's 77 now, and he's still playing amazing. Yeah.
I was just a couple of videos that you guys have had on tour. It doesn't look like anyone's slowing down or anything at all. So you're on SNL as well.
Yeah.
What's it like preparing for that? Because that, you're not just getting one genre, you're getting everything, it seems like, in a night.
Yeah. So each week there's a different host, there's different music, there's all sorts of things like that. So I guess Monday they're pitching ideas of what they want to do. Tuesday they're kind of focusing them. Wednesday they pretty much have like 10 or 12 sketches that they want to do. start building sets, and then they say, okay, we need music for this. So the music director who's in charge of doing the music for it, he figures out some stuff, and then we get it, and we either rehearse Friday, depending on what, how much has to be done, or we go in Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and we rehearse all the music that's supposed to be in the sketches or the show. And if we have to do some rehearsing with some of the sketches, some of the actors, the cast members on the show, then we do that. So pretty much it's 11 in the morning, 11 to 1 we rehearse. Then if there's sketches that we have to play in, then we do it in that time. Mm-hmm. Then they're rehearsing throughout the day. Then we do the monologue. If there's like an elaborate thing for the monologue, we rehearse that a couple of times, 3-4 times, and make sure they get that right, the camera shots, all that, the music. And then we do a dress rehearsal, and we run it all down from like 8 till 10-ish. They take notes of what stays in, what, whatever, and then we do it live at 11:30. And so while all this is going on, it's subject to change because you're dealing with, a live situation. So it's not like you hit the button and it stops at a certain time and it starts at a certain time. Right. Some things that you calculated that were short might go long, or some things that were long might go short. And the conductor is saying to us, if we have to jump or go to this, go here, go there, or we have to play or whatever. So it's all kind of like going live. So you got to stay on your toes.
And what's the difference in your Hartke rig for something like that, where you're in a set place all the time versus playing live?
Nowadays, everything has become more, I guess, I want to say in controlled environment, but we have I have like I think a 15 and LH 1000 head, and when we warm up the band, when we warm up the audience, we play live and everything is, but it's going through such a big system that I don't need stacks and stacks. Yeah. And you got a limited space also. So, and then they like to, be able to control the sound because they have to mix it and get it right to put over the airwaves and stuff like that. So it's a lot of in-ears. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of times, I actually have, when I'm standing, it doesn't help, but when I'm sitting, I have a seat that vibrates. So you can feel the air movement. Gotcha. That you would normally feel if you had like a big stack behind you. Mm-hmm. So I have the kick and I have, the bass. And so I can feel it rumbling in my butt. That's weird. And so, because I like to feel like the air movement, and I like, bass players like to feel the kick coming in and hitting them in the back and feeling the bass in their back. So, but we have in-ear monitors and we can do our own mix and we can mix it however we want to.
Very cool. And with Herbie, what are you using there?
Herbie is more organic. I'm using the monitors that are in front of me. Because in certain situations, I kind of developed this over the years. I don't like to have, I don't like the sound on the stage to be controlled by someone else. And it's not that I'm trying to control it. It's just like I like to hear it like a musician likes to hear it. Like, when we were in the garage, how did you hear music? You're like near the drums and you hear the hi-hat and all that, and the piano, you're hearing things acoustically. And that's kind of like, I like to hear it on stage with Herbie, but, and I just kind of like sweeten the sound more with a little bit of piano or things that I can't hear because, of distance or something like that. Sometimes a little kick. And yeah, so I like to hear it from the stage, and then what is coming from the stage is honest, and what goes out is honest because I'm hearing it in a certain way. I'm hearing it the way I want to hear it. I'm not hearing it the way a monitor guy wants to hear it, or And then with that, you have less chance of, you know, something going wrong, feeding back, or, you know, or while you're playing, something gets pushed up in the monitor more than you want it or whatever. But yeah, but with Herbie, it's kind of organic, because I started doing that just playing acoustic and playing in jazz situations where we a lot of times didn't have monitors. And it's most of the time it's not a true sound of what's going on anyway. So I like to hear it, you know, open air and movement of air and how I would hear it if I'm sitting in a room, if I can.
Right.
Yeah. So that's, in a long story, that's how I like to have the mix with Herbie, just kind of like, just a little bit. So I'm not overplaying, and I can hear things, you know, kind of in an organic way.
Very cool.